So what are some common medical issues you see related to ED?
I would say the top three are going to be diabetes, hypertension, and thyroid issues. Thyroid issues, when we have low sluggish thyroid, unfortunately, this makes everything in our body super slow, whether it's our metabolism or our blood flow. Diabetes, that is one of the first hormones that usually become dysregulated. So your blood sugar and insulin starts to become the relationship to be a little wacky. What this can do is this promotes inflammation, chronic inflammation, and reducing the blood flow, which is what ED has an issue with.
What's a diabetes-friendly diet for ED?
Sugar is going to be a lot of the cause of the damage to our blood vessels, right? So we want to make sure that we prevent that damage, so we keep our sugar intake pretty low. I don't think you necessarily have to avoid carbs, even if you have diabetes, but making sure that you're eating at regular intervals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and that will help your blood sugar stay pretty stable. I think that's the most important thing. And you don't skip a meal, because when we skip meals, that makes our blood sugar go a little bit crazy because it's unreliable. Another thing too with diabetes is making sure that your breakfast has a little bit more proteins and fats in it. And that way you start your day off feeling really satiated, and it gives your blood sugar the good to go. And so if you were to have carbs, like on your plate with like a starchy potato or squash, make sure that's more like at dinner time.
Are there common foods for just everyone across the board that always cause inflammation?
I would say the most common that I see are wheat, dairy, and soy. Those are the most common ones, but it's when I do food sensitivity testing in my clinic, I see actually people that are sensitive to turmeric and salmon, which are supposed to be the most anti-inflammatory foods in the market. But to that person, it's not. But if you had to avoid three, it would be wheat, dairy, and soy that are the most common inflammatory that I see across the board.
So why should I consider what I'm putting into my body when I'm treating ED symptoms?
Different foods help promote nitric oxide. And what this means is nitric oxide is actually naturally made in the body, but when we eat foods that have nitrates, or foods that have polyphenols or antioxidants, this helps support the nitric oxide in our body. And that relaxes our inner muscles of our blood vessels, allowing it to widen and promote more circulation.
So what specific foods have nitrates?
My favorites are beets and celery and leafy greens. I love taking a holistic approach with ED. So what we do is we look at different foods, making sure that we promote the blood flow with what you're eating, along with stress and sleep and exercise, because all of it makes such a difference when you're trying to promote optimal blood flow and support ED.